Knock, knock. Who's there? It's the Back Page Fast Game Week 12 review. I'm John O'Donnell, and I've been joined by Mark Corcoran and Owen Gray. Say hello, boys.
Hello.
Okay. Mark, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Roberto Di Matteo.
Roberto Di Matteo, who?
Roberto Di Matteo, indeed. Now, he took a visit with his club Chelsea, who he got sacked from last week, to West Brom, where he also got sacked from and lost 2-1. An did you think of the match?
So many sackings. When will it stop?
It's Christmas.
Quite an entertaining game. Obviously, last week I predicted that West Brom I thought would go ahead, quite similar to the Manchester City match, and then Chelsea would come storming back. And obviously they did go ahead through Shane Long, but the response from Chelsea never really came. Obviously they got the equaliser. I think it was a deflected effort from Hazard, but West Brom were certainly worthy winners in that game. And when you look at the table now, and you know, last week we were talking about West Brom versus Everton. You know, people were talking about Everton finishing fourth. We thought that West Brom would settle for 40 points, and then that was their season cooked. But now you look at it, and they're in fourth place, and it really seems like they've everything to play for. Steve Clark's doing a great job there. 6 out of 7 wins at home, and the Hawthorns is certainly not a ground you'd look forward to going to.
And on Chelsea and Di Matteo, one defeat in their first 12 games of the season, but just one win in their last 6.
Yeah, they went into a slump in the last few weeks, and I don't know if he should have been sacked or not, but yeah, the last game was a great performance by West Brom. They continue to impress, but some of the players that Di Matteo has at his disposal weren't working for him, mainly Fernando Torres. So
that's my fault.
That's a problem for them. Anyway, Benitez will have to work hard to get them playing again, together. Even.
Yeah, yeah. We'll cut that. No, we won't. Shane Long played very well, though, didn't he?
Yeah, I heard Hodgins talking today, and he said when he was working with Long in I think he brought Long to the club, and Hodgins last season would have been Shane Long's first season there, and his opinion of him was that he was expecting a good deal in that first season, but Shane Long was always going to be a player that, as he settled into the team in future years, was going to get better and better. And I think we're seeing that. There's hard to see where the limit for Shane Long is. Once he gets a run in the team, he seems to be causing defenders on every team all sorts of problems. And I don't think any back four would look forward to facing him, because he's a good finisher, and he's got pace, and he's good in the air as well. So, and you can see why the West Brom crowd love him.
And now let's just bring it back to Di Matteo, because that is the big story of the week. Owen, what do you think of the sacking? Would you have sacked him?
Absolutely not, no. Because they're trying to be stable. He just won the Champions League and FA Cup for them, so I think he deserved at least a season. I know they've gone through a slump in the last few weeks, but that's no reason to sack him. Really, I expected them to pick it back up because of the players they have, the front three. Yeah,
from 4.
From 4.
6 was a bit.
Yeah. Well, Mata, Hazard, and the other fella, Oscar.
Everybody keeps forgetting Oscar. He's the shortest name.
And he's quality as well. So, yeah, very surprising that they sacked him.
What do you think? Would you sack him?
Yeah, I think Abramovich is spending too much time in his yacht. He's got a bit of ocean madness. Because Di Matteo, I think, lasted 6 days longer than AVB.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he? He's lost the plot, it seems, of why he was sacking all the other managers. He was sacking them all to win the Champions League. He wins the Champions League. He sacks them.
Well, you could criticise him, but it's working. Every time he sacks somebody, the next guy comes in and wins something.
Do they? Ancelotti, when he was sacked, AVB.
And AVB, unfortunately, wasn't within a span where he could win anything, because he went from the first 9 months of the season.
He wasn't given the opportunity. Maybe he's stumbling across the formula, which is interim managers are the way to go, right? Because Hiddink did quite well as an interim manager.
Mm-hmm.
Di Matteo, Ivan Grant got him to the Champions League final for all his difficulties at different clubs after that. But Di Matteo won the FA Cup and the Champions League. you got to give him to the end of the season.
Benitez probably going to win the World Club Cup.
Yeah, that was the other thing I really that stuck with me about that sacking. Like, I don't know if the World Club Cup means as much to fans, people kind of outside the club, as it does to people actually in the club. Players do rate winning that tournament because you have to actually win the Champions League to qualify for it. And to take the opportunity off Di Matteo, I thought was lousy, and then give it to Benitez. I just can't understand why they'd sack him. They're not, like a month ago, people were talking about how far can Chelsea go. Chelsea are real contenders for the title, but I don't know. Just what is the world coming to?
I don't know. Hey, Owen, knock.
Who's there?
Ruh.
Ruh who?
No, Rue.
Ruh who?
No, Rue.
Ruh.
There we go, Rue. Wayne Rooney wasn't at Carrow Road. Either was Rue.
Rue who?
Rooney. His nickname is Rue.
Yeah, but you have to have the who in the punchline.
Rue. You better say it very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. So
Rooney, Kagawa, they were at Carrow Road. And Cleverly and Welbeck, who you kind of see as their understudies, were both on the bench.
Rooney and De Gea, I mean, weren't at Carrow Road because Kagawa was still out.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Rooney wasn't there, Kagawa, neither of them could play because of injury.
Yeah. It was a shocking performance by United.
But the players you'd expect to pick locks and do little stuff or in around the box to create things were missing. And then their replacements were on the bench.
Yeah.
And they had Giggs and who else played?
Scholes.
Hernandez got his reward for the hat trick, the 2 goals and the assist. Villa, Ferguson said he was going to start him, and he did. Start him up front with Van Persie. Both of them had a very quiet game. I thought Ashley Young on the wing and Valencia very poor. And then you're left with Giggs and Carrick, who aren't exactly... a lot of people were calling after that game for Giggs should never start a Man United game again.
That's harsh.
Very harsh. There's plenty of opportunities. I wasn't disappointed to see him in that team, but
I wouldn't have started him.
Well, I think I just wouldn't start him in a 4-4-2 in central midfield. Well, maybe at Old Trafford against Norwich, but not away from home against Norwich. And so, it was. I had a bad feeling going into that game, and I was proven to be right. Great header though.
From Pilkington.
Yeah,
amazing header.
It was a great team goal as well. They really got out United down that right hand side, but even Valencia was at fault for that because he kind of was a bit slack in getting back into position and left Raphael with a lot to do, and he couldn't stop the cross from coming in. So yeah, that's it. Over the last couple of weeks, I think Norwich have got some fantastic results. I think they've conceded 1 goal in their last 5 games, and they've won a lot of games 1-0. I think 4 of those 5 maybe,
including Arsenal as well.
Yeah, well, they've certainly won their last 3 home games. I think 1-0. But they're causing teams problems simply by defending well, which is it's a unique way to look at it. Most teams would like to cause the other team problems by scoring goals, but they're just defending well and not letting the other team score.
Well, it's always been a Houghton thing, and the thing about Houghton in this defensive system, he would be good. Do you think he'd be good to take over from Trapp in Ireland?
Yeah, it's a similar sort of style they play. I think there's more attacking play though through Norwich. Because of Lambert last year. I know he's a defensive manager as well, but they played some nice football last year as well, even with Grant Holt up front. But yeah, he could be a natural replacement for Trapattoni.
Well, when you look at it, the likes of Snodgrass, Pilkington, Houlihan, all starting in midfield, and they're all attackers. It's not like... I mean, I know they set out in a structured way to defend, but they don't just sit back. Like, they have got players who can play.
Don't make me... Don't maybe G up Brian McDermott for the Iron job again. I will do it.
Let's leave it there. So,
what an answer!
knock.
Who's there?
Robert
who?
Roberto Mancini.
Oh, Jesus. I'll tell you what's a joke. Your jokes.
Or was it David Platten or Roberto Mancini? I'm going to be calling him Roberto Mancini for the rest of the show. Just
in the mask. Oh yeah.
5-0 against Lambert, as we were just talking about. You can't seem to organise Villa the way he did with Norwich.
No, but again, I think that club's gone stale. I mean, don't know where fast it seems. And it seemed like the attitude was, Villa, they're not going anywhere, but they'll be fine. It's just suddenly they're actually in the relegation area, and they have to actually go ahead and do something about it now. So, yeah, they're under pressure there. And the whole Darren Ben problem, obviously they got a multi-million invested striker that's just not really in the business there. So they were poor. Well, they were good for about 40 minutes, I think, at the Etihad until City got the first goal, and then the floodgates opened from there.
And Lambert blamed the handball that wasn't really a handball. Who does he blame for the other 4 goals?
Yeah, he said it was at 1-0 when they got that penalty, and he said it could have changed the course of the game had it been stayed 1-0. But I don't think the result would have changed. City still would have won comfortably. But yeah, it was a strange decision. But Villa are in bits at the moment. Their senior players like Bent, Dunn, Warnock, Inzogbia, they're missing at the moment. So they have young players coming in to fill in for them. They're not really doing too well at the moment.
But even if you look at those senior players there, did you mention there, Dunn, Warnock, Bent, and Inzogbia. Inzogbia, I think when he first went there, never really looked like he
Never clicked at all.
So even if he comes back, what's he bringing to the table? Bent obviously kind of said there that maybe they'll try and sell him. Richard Dunn, I think, has lost his bit of form, and he's coming back off a long-term injury, so no guarantees he's going to do much for them. And Warnock as well. I think back end of last season, form suffered badly, so maybe they're better off without them.
Now, an interesting stat from the match that I picked up was they both had the same amount of shots on target. Like they both drew 8 saves from the opposing keeper, but City scored 5. Now, is that because Silva came back and he made the chances easier for City? Because they've been missing him.
Yeah, you'd expect. I mean, Aguero and Tevez are world-class strikers.
Also, 2 of them wear penalties. So
yeah, so. You know what I mean. So, plus Aston Villa, there's the whole kind of magic thing of when you're away from home, everything seems to be a little bit harder to do for some reason, even though the ball's the same and it's grass you're playing on. But
it's 11v11.
Yeah, but I think you'd expect City to be more clinical in their taking their chances.
Mm-hmm. Knock knock.
Who's there?
T.U. Walcott. He was hailed as the difference in the North London derby. Are you allowed, people say he has no football brain. You're allowed to have a football brain 1 week, and can you lose it in the intervening week?
Well, that's what Walcott's the master at, isn't he? So, I don't know. He played very well. He looked up for it. Not as up for it as Adebayor was, but he still looked up
he
for
was
it.
Up for it.
That is up. There's up for it, and then there's knee-high up for it.
I think it was for Mertesacker's goal. He did exceptionally well to get down the wing and get that ball across to him. And it was a great header. So, yeah, fair play to Walcott this week. We'll see how he gets on
this week. You have to qualify.
See how he gets on the weekend.
What's his 9th, 10th goal of the season?
Yeah,
for a winger.
Not bad.
Who thinks he's a
centre forward.
He does drift in. He does actually play as a centre forward a lot.
Yeah, but how many of those were against Reading?
About 7 of them.
Owen mentioned Adebayor there, and he was always going to be the difference, wasn't he? And then he scored, and he looked like he was going to be the difference that way.
Yeah, Spurs started so well. Really. It was such a pity for the game that he had to go and get sent off. But it was just stupid, really stupid tackle. And he let everybody down at the club and at Tottenham. But the whole thing of when somebody's walking off the pitch and the assistant coach is there to pat him on the back and say it's all right. Well, it's not all right. You're after running the match for everyone.
Yeah.
But maybe it's understandable that you probably want to go there and prove a point, and he had done that by scoring the goal. So just a player of his experience should know how to cope with those kind of games and those situations. And it kind of spoiled the game, but at the same time, Tottenham should never have gone in, I think, 3-1 down at half time. They should have been able to see it out a bit more. They're not the first team to go down to 10 men away from home, so they should have been able to see it out a bit more.
Well, that was kind of like a wake up call for Arsenal, wasn't it? It was like, okay, well, we should probably do stuff now.
Yeah.
But AVB seemed to think that Spurs controlled the game, and Wenger seems to think that Arsenal are still in the title race. So which one of them is more deluded on?
I think, Wenger, obviously. But, VS Bowles has a point to a certain degree. They played well in the first 25.
But he said they controlled the whole game.
Well, that's no. In fairness to Villas-Boas, they went for it at half time. They stuck,
Dawson on, and they moved it
They-
so it was
they
a back three.
put Dempsey in as well. So they weren't like going to sit back and hold out and just say 3-1's okay. Won't be as embarrassing. But they went for it, and Arsenal exposed them.
Well, what they did was they went to a back three, and that kind of left Walcott in all the space in the world, and he punished them.
Yeah, but at the same time, what he's saying there about controlling the match, it very nearly went to 4-3.
It did. Bale.
Very, very near, and I think there was a Defoe chance as well, or Bale should have
You should have
squared
squared it
Yeah.
to Defoe, yeah.
You know, you're talking about a different game if that goes in. 5-2, I thought flattered Arsenal. You have to credit AVB, I think, for actually going for it, because a lot of managers will actually say, "Oh, here we're beaten here, so we'll just try and keep it at 3-1, mate." But like they went for it, and you have to credit them for that. So yeah, Wenger is the most deluded.
Hey, yo, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Seuss.
Susu.
Susu looked like he was going to be the third in the front three for Liverpool, but he's been replaced by Jose Enrique.
No comment.
But seriously though, Jose Enrique, he's become a wing forward all of a sudden.
He was playing in midfield, like a wing back, sort of. Yeah, wing back, sort of getting forward a lot, like no defensive responsibilities. But in fairness, when he does lose the ball,
by the way, Liverpool beat Wigan 3-0. That got lost in there.
And Enrique got his first goal.
First goal.
But Susu.
Interesting about Susu, or Suso, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, if you want to call him his real name, fine.
Rogers took him off after half an hour. He wasn't injured. It was a tactical change. He brought on Henderson. I think Henderson played in whole midfield from there and let Enrique
What is
free.
Henderson's position? I still haven't figured
He
this out.
doesn't know himself, unfortunately.
He likes the bibs at the end of training.
Take that, Jordan.
Yeah, but Enrique set up another goal for Suarez, and Suarez is top scorer in the league now, so they're playing very well, and Suarez is scoring, so you can't really complain at the moment.
And Mark, any thoughts on Wigan?
I expected more from them actually, because they tend to do well in kind of bigger games or going to those bigger clubs. Like they've beat Arsenal, for example, and Man United was the end of last season. But just kind of seemed to, once the first one went in, I thought it was a no contest game really. But it's a welcome 3 points, I would say, for Liverpool, because it's been a difficult few weeks.
Did you have something to say?
You're smiling at me, John.
No, sorry.
Why are you smiling?
Knock, knock.
Oh, you're just anticipating what was coming. Can I just say though about Liverpool, because Stuart Downing has been linked with Middlesbrough on loan.
Yep.
Charlie Adams obviously gone to Stoke. I think Henderson has been linked with, and moves out of the club as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think QPR are interested.
No.
But
They're linked with everybody.
Yeah, but it just goes to show that they were Carroll obviously to West Ham. They're serious about the clean out there, and it was the exact players that they brought in the summer before, more or less, that they're trying to get rid of. So it shows a pretty poor return on investment. And you wonder how many years has that set Liverpool back, throwing all those millions away.
Yeah. You can't afford. Oh, are they going to buy a new stadium? What's going to happen with the stadium?
They're going to renovate Anfield. They're renovating the whole area around it. So it's going to be, I don't know when it's going to be complete, but they're going to renovate it to a 60,000 seater around that. So
Are they doing the Cop again?
No, it's not going to, I don't think they're touching the Cop. It's just going to be the main stand and the centenary either side.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to generate more revenue because of the money they've spent. It's just trying to get back the losses they've made in the last few years, and they're chopping Brendan Rodgers spoke to John Henry during the summer, and he said the club's a ticking time bomb with the wages they're spending on some of the players. Joe Cole.
Joe Cole has to go. I remember laughing my ass off when he saw he was going to get 90 grand a week. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Meech.
No.
Oh, knock, knock.
Meet you.
Yay! I think that's the best one. Meech, you got the opener against Newcastle. Swansea look very secure in their league status at the moment, don't they?
Hernandez would have been another one.
No. Pablo?
was the question? I was just lost.
Swansea looks very safe, don't they?
Yeah.
There was a question hanging over them at the start of the season. But
Yeah, well, because they got off to a flyer and then kind of lost momentum, but there's worse teams than Swansea.
much worse.
Oh God, how they are worse.
I can't begin to describe how much worse they are.
Like I don't. When Swansea go into any fixture, you think, all right, they mightn't be favourites, and or anything near winning, but you can see them scoring goals against any team. Whereas certain teams, keep going. you just looking at them and you're thinking, no hope or so.
And Newcastle lose their second game at home on the bounce. I don't really want to talk about it. Can you explain it to me?
I can't really explain it either. That was unthinkable last season, losing 2 games in a row at home. I think they've been the victims of their own success though, because they did so well last season. They're having a bit of a sloppy start. So maybe Everton are usually the ones that are slow starters and then kick on in the second half of the season. So I think Pardew will be hoping the same happens in Newcastle this year.
That whole Cisse thing was an absolute disgrace.
Oh yeah.
Oh, about him being too injured to play for Senegal, and then Senegal saying no, he's not allowed to
The
play.
5-day rule,
5-day
absolute
ban.
joke. And I don't think Newcastle will ever get compensated for that or whatever, but it was an absolute disgrace. Not saying it cost them the match or anything, but you'd had a better chance of at least getting a point if Cisse was on the pitch, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Scored,
No, but like,
scored a goal a game last season.
well,
Nearly.
no, if that ever happened at a Barcelona or something like that in a big game, or United, whatever, a big Premier League club,
It'd be outright.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and rightly so. Like, say if you get an injury the day before training in your internationals and you're not fit to play the next day, but like, how is there a certain time that you will be fit? Like
5 days.
No, but there isn't. Like, but you can't know that. Like, so it's an absolute joke. Really needs to be looked at.
Yeah, let's move on from that one. Knock knock. This is the worst one, by the way. Knock knock.
Who's there?
David Moo.
David Moo.
David Mahoos.
David what?
David Mahoos, who has been saying that he wanted to keep in touch with the big boys, but Everton lost 2-1.
Oh, David Moyes. I got it.
Yeah. So we're going to gloss over that one. Reading beat Everton 2-1 at home.
Didn't see that one coming.
No,
Very surprising result.
I think you said they were definitely going to win.
Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost a significant amount of money on that.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't have no
You
betting
don't
man, but I
count
would
that.
have if I was.
I think we'd understand how bad we are at actually predicting stuff if we were actually putting money on this.
But that's.
I hope nobody's making bets based on what we're saying.
I hope they are. That means we're influential. Well, that's the thing often though, isn't it? That a team that's on a run of games that they haven't won a game in a while, they tend to win their next match in a game that you don't really expect them to do. I definitely wasn't expecting Reading. I just thought Everton would have too much for them, and turned out that it was the other way around.
But they didn't, exactly.
Yeah.
And Reading got their first win and nobody seemed to notice.
Yeah, fair play to them. Adam Lafond got a couple of goals. I think
He hasn't really been playing.
hasn't really been playing, but when he does play, he scores. He's chipped in with 4 or 5 goals in the league this season. So if they can keep him on form, he can do well. I haven't seen much of Pavel Pogrebniak either, who
He was dropped.
drops, but in fairness to him, last season at Fulham, the second half of the season, he scored nearly every game he played. So I don't know what's wrong at the moment for him.
It's weird. They've 4 average strikers. Like Lafond, whenever you see one of them, like Hunt got a couple of goals against Arsenal, and Roberts looked okay, and then Pogrebniak has been scoring, and now Lafondra, whenever he plays, he scores. And it's like still couldn't win a match until the weekend.
I'm disappointed that Ian Hart isn't getting more of a run.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that
They
comeback.
signed what's his face.
Mickey Shorey back.
They got him back.
Because I was half thinking, throw him in the Ireland team. For the set pieces.
Yeah.
If that's the way we're playing and we're those corners and free kicks and throw it in the box, who
If
better
we're
can
gonna-
throw it in the box
If we're
than
just
Ian
gonna
Hart?
have the keeper roll it to the left back and him hump it long.
Yeah,
Have Hart do it. At least
Yeah.
they pick somebody out.
yeah,
Ward will put a for a throw in, more than likely.
yes. But like, Hart isn't going to get caught out any more than Ward is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Similar
So,
pace.
I was looking forward to like the third comeback of Ian Hart because he's made a second, the second comeback. He's already made one comeback under
Good.
Brian Kerr.
Did he?
Yeah, he was at Levante at the time, I think.
Oh yeah.
He was dropped out when he moved to Spain. He was left, or dropped from the Ireland squad, and then
I think he scored goals
Israel.
against Israel, yeah.
free kick, yeah. Threw that result away. 2-2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Brilliant. I'd like to see him back. Also.
But it's probably not going to happen at this stage. But
No.
I was looking forward to it at the start of the season. He was in my fantasy football team as a kind of
He'll score
wild card.
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a defender who will take set pieces,
Mm.
but he hasn't been in the team, so he won't take set pieces.
Mm. No, he won't. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mark Hu.
Mark who?
Mark Hughes, indeed.
What?
Mark Hughes.
Oh, Mark Hughes.
Why does he still have a job?
Oh, I get it.
They lost 3-1 at home to Southampton.
You should have said Mark who blank is.
Yeah, that's not how knock knock jokes work.
Yeah, but that would have made sense.
I'm an expert at them, so you can tell.
Yeah,
Why does he still have a job?
because they're afraid. They don't want to sack him before Old Trafford because what new manager wants to go to Old Trafford in their first game?
Good point.
So they think they've got Sunderland the week after that. So the theory
that'd
is
be a good place to go.
they'll sack him. And
But
then
does
the
the new
Sunderland home.
manager not give you a oomph, as we discussed with Chelsea earlier? Like, you're like, "Arr!"
Yeah, but you want
have
your
a better chance of getting points from
you want
Man United.
you want your oomph in a game you can get points from. Realistically, haven't said that they will probably win at Old Trafford and he'll keep his job. But the theory being that maybe even Harry Redknapp goes in on a Monday morning, take training to get ready for the Saturday game or something like
He's not one for taking training, really.
that. Or his setup will.
Okay. Owen, is this similar to what happened to Di Matteo, where the board bought all the players and said, "Look, you deal with it," and he just hasn't made it work?
Yeah, I think so. In that sense, it is.
Matteo?
Close whip. Whoopi Goldberg.
Back. I thought it
not
was
again.
dead, but it's back.
Yeah, in that sense, QPR are quite similar to Chelsea, buying two keepers and whatnot. But I think Tony Fernandes is fairly stubborn. He said that he's going to stick by Hughes. He wants to be stable, but you can't have a stable club when they're buying 8 or 9 players at a transfer window. And yeah, I think he'll have to go soon.
And who's complained when he was at Fulham that the chairman wouldn't back him and give him money to buy players? He did better at Fulham than he's done at QPR, where he's forced to just get on with it.
Yeah, he got too much backing. I'm not. I wouldn't in general be for sacking manager. Like, he's only there a year, but it just seems like they're not really going anywhere, and they can't really afford to get relegated. So it seems like they kind of lost the plot there a bit. And I didn't agree with the way he left Fulham, and certainly he left Fulham to go with a bigger club, and I don't think he's got that in QPR. So I don't know. I think a fresh start needs to be got there, because then even if you look at a new manager comes in, what's he going to want to do? Buy players in January.
Yeah.
What's the last thing QPR need?
Especially
New
to get
players.
Harry.
Yeah.
And there was talk of Benitez, and he was always fond of buying players too.
In fairness to Harry, though, he probably won't spend an awful lot of money, and he'll bring in a good quality player who will actually want to fight for the team. Whereas Hughes, I don't know, a lot of those players don't. I wonder, are they actually that committed? I wonder, does Cesar actually care? For example, does Granero care?
No.
Does Cisse
Not
care?
the slightest.
You know what I mean? Granero's a good player. He's playing all right for him, but
He doesn't care.
he doesn't. Maybe bring Joey Barton back in. I'm going to start that. They can't fit in.
Bit of passion.
A bit of passion, a bit of red card, like out for the next 3 weeks. That's what they need.
Speaking of out for the next 3, or not the next 3, I've kind of ruined that. Speaking of getting a red card, being suspended for 3 weeks. Knock knock.
Who's there?
This could actually be the worst one. Knock knock. Sorry. Lee Cattermole.
Whoa.
Who?
Lee Cattermole, definitely. It wasn't really a sending off the challenge Hangeland had on him, was it? Did you see it?
I didn't see the red card. I saw the goals. I haven't seen the red card.
It was. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah. No.
Did nobody see it? Basically, Brother Hangeland went in. Do you remember Shelby versus Evans?
Yeah.
It was like that, but it wasn't a lunge as much. Both feet came off the ground, but he had the foot that was ahead was pointing down. I'm doing it with my foot in front of the two of you right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really transmit in an audio medium.
With your white boots on you.
Yeah.
Fancy Dan.
Blades are studs, lads. Blades. Yeah, it didn't look like a sending off. Maybe a yellow, probably a yellow. But it was ironic to see Cattermole get away with it. McLean didn't start this match, and Sunderland scored 3 goals. Coincidence?
No. I don't think I think he's quite overrated. It's a bit harsh because he's still quite young. He's not in the league that long, but he's overhyped definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he's just played too many games. I don't think it's because he was out of team. They scored 3 goals, but I don't think his form has been that great, and they're right to try other options.
And they put what's his name? Session scored because there was he had that little bit of space that he wouldn't be in if McLean's in it. But it was Larson who got moved out wide, who has been playing the centre all season. Probably just isn't a centre midfielder. Just hasn't been working for him. No. Okay, great.
Is he not supposed to be a winger? Like?
He seems to enjoy crossing it, and he can't really turn. Yeah. Knock.
Who's there?
Tony Poo.
Tony
Pulis admitted in the 1-1 draw between Stoke and West Ham, he admitted that his player blocked off an opponent during the corner where they scored a goal, and then in the same sentence went on to criticise the referee for getting an offside decision correct. That's why I hate Stoke.
Yeah, I thought it was a great goal though. I thought, let's do that for Ireland. Two lads in the Irish team.
Against the rules.
Is it though?
Yes.
How often do you see that? Like?
Oh, people get away with it, so it's not against the rules now?
Well, there's lots of things that are against the rules, but people get away with them.
Such as?
Diving.
Yeah. But people get booked for that more than they do.
Like shirt pulling as well, you see that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I'm not saying I like it, but I'm just saying, you're not going to get away with it. It's clever to try it.
No.
Or you're not. No. You are going to get away with it. It is clever to try it.
No, I'm not having it.
What else don't
I don't know if it was intentionally say, okay, you're a blocker. A blocker means stand your ground. Doesn't.
But it's not.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
That's not what it was. This isn't zonal marking.
I think what Pulis is trying to say is try and make it difficult for the defender to run into that space.
No, he came out after the match and said, I'm not supposed to admit this, but we blocked him off.
That's fair enough. It was a well-worked goal. Like, in fairness to Walters, he put it away well. Cause
still cheating.
Great finish, though.
They never prosper. And that's what's wrong with Stoke. There's 51% of this game was played in the middle third, possession-wise. You know the way it does the 3?
Yeah.
The middle one was, half the game was there.
Yeah.
Just generally an indication of a bad game.
Well, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I just thought it was a bit of two teams of the same level in and around. Stoke haven't had that great start. A lot of draws.
West Ham probably had a surprisingly good start.
Yeah.
They don't deserve.
Bitter about Andy Carroll. Happy to see Joey O'Brien getting his first goal.
Yeah. Did he not score last week?
No, that was his first goal. That was his first goal for the club.
Don't think so.
Okay,
that was his first goal. Yeah.
So 2 Irish lads. Both of them should be in the Irish team now for the next day.
You inheriting Joey O'Brien?
Right?
Walters and O'Brien.
And Joey O'Brien. And they've proven they can score goals at a high level. So put them in the Ireland team against Poland.
But sometimes though, when they turn up, they don't play. No,
that Mancini.
Yeah. No.
Trapadone's a bit deeper. It was a very good Mancini though.
Okay. Sometimes the Mario, he know what you do.
Why you always talk about City?
Why always Monaco, huh? Maybe you prefer Davy Platt. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. We'll be back after this musical interlude. It's not quite the Who, but I think it'll keep you going for the 3 seconds that it's on anyway. Hello and welcome back to Backpage Pass. We've knocked the bad jokes on the head, and it's time to get serious and look ahead to the coming week's fixtures. Starting with me, John.
John who?
Me, John. It's me.
John who?
You know me. We went to college together.
We're not.
You know we have 5 years. Okay. We're going to start with
5 years already, John. This
we
is
know
getting
each other at least 5
this is
years. How long do we know each other? What year did we start college?
2008.
Eight.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh, it's only 4.
Uh-huh.
I lied. It seems like 5. That's, they say time flies when you're having fun. And so we're starting with Sunderland versus West Brom.
You can just cut like that whole bit. Just get rid of it. Just click and drag.
Plop. Do we think McLean will stay on the bench? Start on the bench anyway. He'll probably come off the bench at some point.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be on the bench again this weekend. Martin O'Neill won't change the winning formula, and I think he's been found out at the moment. So, yeah, O'Neill will stick with what he had last week. But West Brom are on fire as well, so they'll be looking to get 3 points from that game because Sunderland have been very shaky since the start of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I think once you've found the winning formula that you've been looking for, why would you change it? Unless there's injuries. But I expect West Brom to win that match. I know it's always difficult going away from home, but I think it could be a tight game. But I expect West Brom to win that.
And Steve Clark was linked with the Chelsea job, and Martin O'Neill a few years ago would have been linked with any big job, and all of a sudden, no mention of him.
Yeah, but if you get like April, May time, if he's turned Sunderland around, that lot will change again. Like so.
Yeah, he won't. Man United versus QPR. He might get linked with QPR job. Fergie just
That's
gonna
harsh, John.
he's gonna put the nail in the coffin of his old protege.
One aspect of this game is the day before there's the whole big statue ceremony. Where I remember last season United did the whole Sir Alex Ferguson stand thing, and there was a big hoo-ha before the match against Sunderland, and the performance actually wasn't that good in the end. So QPR might be finding United on a good day to actually play them, when their attention could be elsewhere, or Ferguson's attention could be elsewhere. Could be clutching at straws there, but
I can't see Fergie getting distracted by a statue of himself, though.
No, but the fact that he's actually out like cutting tape and all that stuff the day before a game, I don't think is where you want to be the day before a game. But I wouldn't begrudge it to him or anything like that. But I'm just saying it might maybe work in QPR's benefit. But again, the fact that United have rested a lot of their players midweek could work in their favour. So you'd have to go with home win.
Because they were resting players against Norwich to play in midweek, and then didn't play them in midweek. You think a more fresh? They have to play the first team for this game, right?
Yeah, they'll be putting out the strongest possible team, and it'll be far too good for QPR on the weekend. I think easy win.
Yeah, whenever we say that, we always
Tight
egg
match
on our face.
Tight match.
Wigan versus Reading. Now, anything could happen in this game. You could tell me after the match that one side won 10, either side won 10-0. And I'd be like, yeah, that could happen because they can both be great going forward and they can both be awful at the back.
So, John, even amount of goals in the game or odd amount of goals in the game?
Odd.
I'll go even then.
I go even as well. Draw 2-0.
Oh well, we weren't looking for specifics.
No,
Fine.
I'm going straight for it.
You have to take 0-0 draw because John's odd. I'm you. And 2-2 draw sounds probably about right.
Yeah. No, I just couldn't predict it at all. Though I wouldn't even.
Well, if I have to jump off the fence on one side, I'm going to go with Wigan though because
Yeah.
they just have that little bit more
They're
experience.
higher in the table. They've been doing better.
Yeah, but Reading will be high off a good win last week. But I don't see them somehow winning that match.
Also, Wigan at home. Everton versus Norwich. Everton will want to send a message after losing last week, don't they? They want to.
Yeah, after
We're
losing,
in this.
they'll want to put more pressure on West Brom now.
I've been growling a lot this week. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I have said grr several times.
Could be something about your sexuality. We don't know that yet.
You can only speculate.
Could be 2-2. Who knows?
Yeah, Everton will want to bounce back from last week and be interesting to see because Norwich are unbeaten in 5 or whatever it is. See how they cope with a high pressure match away from home.
Well, Everton might find it difficult to actually score. I think Lonnie is suspended.
5 yellows already.
Yeah,
and he was injured for a few weeks as well.
He's suspended for this match. I know that because he's in the fantasy football team.
I've given up.
No, you break my heart, John. I don't like people even on my table. Quitters. Anyway, I think it could be maybe a 1-0 result there, or 1-1. I don't fancy Norwich to actually go there and win, but I think a draw could be maybe the result there.
And Stoke versus Fulham.
Draw.
Yeah, I'd like to skip the match and just see the two managers have a fight, because I think they're, of all the managers in the league, they'd be the most likely to have a fight.
Yeah, y'all seems real annoyed these days. It was the
Yeah.
whole Hangeland.
Oh, he was not happy after
What was
Fulham
that? He
lost.
was saying that he was after the Norwegian defender, and Hangeland said that. Yeah, we're in for him. Wasn't it?
What?
Wasn't Hangeland in the Martin Yall's press conference I think
Yeah.
last week? Somebody asked him about Hangeland there's a Norwegian defender. Hangeland said that Fulham were in for him. He'd love to play with him alongside him at Fulham, and Yall was annoyed that he said that, because they obviously were in for him, like, but they wanted to keep him under the table. Like, he did not look happy with that.
Well, he kept it very vague there.
Who kept it very big?
Hangeland. Oh, if
No,
we're in for him.
it was the specific defender I can't think of the name of, but
Oh.
he was like, I think he pretty much said, yeah, we're in for him and I want to play with him, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. The 5:30 kickoff is Aston Villa versus Arsenal, and Aston Villa played the third team from the top three from last season in the third week in a row.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier for them. But of all the three teams to play, if they do have a good performance, they could get a result from it. They're unlucky against Man U. They threw it away. Obviously, not so lucky against City.
Well, the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty.
Lambert would convince you that if that penalty hadn't been given.
But Arsenal are inconsistent. You don't know with them. They had a great performance last week, but they could draw. At Villa, if Villa are up for it, like they were against United in the first half, I think could be a draw.
You've got. Oh, really? We've got Theo Walcott up against young Enda Stevens, and I'd say young. He's older than you, but he's Stevens has had a good start, but against Theo, with very little cover, I got Bonlower in front of him. He's going to struggle, isn't he?
As Dave O'Leary used to say, he's only young and he's only naive.
He's my baby. My baby.
And at the end of the day,
What can I say?
None of you said at all there. That was his thing as well.
Well, I predicted that Arsenal will go to Norwich and win, and they lost. My gut feeling is telling me they're going to beat Villa, but you never know in the Premier League. But Villa aren't on a very positive run of form these days, so I have absolutely no reason to back them. And it's not Enda Stevens against Walcott, because I'm sure Lambert will try and formulate some kind of combative plan, but you have to expect. Arsenal got 2 great goals last night in the Champions League. They can score from a lot of positions on the pitch, so you got to expect them to win that.
We'll also have to worry about Santi Cazorla, who, you can't see either of Villa's deep line midfield. It was Westwood and Bannon. You can't really see either of them coping with him.
Did you see the Santi Cazorla YouTube video?
yeah,
Which one?
When he's on his way, making his way home from the game against Tottenham, and he kind of gets stuck in traffic, and all the Arsenal fans see him in the car and surround the car and start singing Santi Cazorla.
he's at the top of the queue, so the traffic weren't, like, the cars behind him weren't too impressed.
Now, was he smiling, or was he like?
I couldn't really
you
see
could
him.
go
You couldn't really
away
see-
from
You
me.
couldn't really see into the car; they just surrounded his car.
It's nice to see players interacting with the fans.
You ever see the Nasri video with
Where
the
The
Liverpool
Liverpool
fans?
fans give him a stick and he shoots off in his belly.
Priceless.
Sunday, 1:30. Swansea versus Liverpool. Roger Stoyle versus Laudrup Style. There's been a lot of talk about how Swansea have changed styles, even though they haven't barely.
Not much, I don't think. They've got a couple of better players in there now. I think Swansea, they've been scoring more goals.
Me too.
Exactly.
Michu and Pablo as well has been added. He's good coming from midfield, and Jonathan de Guzman as well.
Guzman?
So yeah, they've changed a tiny bit, and they've got extra quality there. So it's helping them stay in the sort of mid-table region.
And will Rodgers know everything about Swansea when they turn up, or will Laudrup have a plan? I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know.
He knows the majority of the players inside out. Is what I'm
Yeah,
getting
he
at.
should. So he should be able to formulate a decent plan, because he should know both strengths and weaknesses. Liverpool are coming off a good result at the weekend as well, but Swansea is a difficult place to go. So I wouldn't be that confident in Liverpool actually going there and winning, but you know, especially because Liverpool are playing tonight as well. So you know, there's not an awful lot of plan formulating and rest time in the meantime. So it should be a difficult fixture for them. But I'll go with a draw there as well.
Yeah, because Rodgers used to have a week to sort his team out and go, here's what's going to happen now. He has a few. I hadn't thought of that. That could be where they're going wrong.
Yeah, and plus any tiredness and injuries that could be picked up tonight.
I expect Gerrard to be awful on Sunday as well. Anyway, Southampton.
Just because he can't pass the ball?
Yeah, against Swansea. Swansea are going to press him. And
Joe Allen, though, could work well.
Joe Allen could have I expect to have a great game.
Yeah.
Where he won't, Joe Allen gets angry when you rough him up a bit, and that's when he loses it, and it's when he stops, his passing accuracy goes down. But Swansea will press him, but he'll be able to cope with that.
God, that's a great stat. Have you got the figures for a pissed off Joe Allen?
How can you prove he's pissed off? How furrowed is his brow?
Yeah, are the veins popping out of his temples?
Now, Liverpool went ahead of Newcastle on the table, unfortunately. Shut up. This is the 3 o'clock kickoff. Southampton at home to Newcastle, and Newcastle really, really need a win at this stage, don't they? And you'd expect them to get it against Southampton.
Yeah, they need a win after the last two results, and with Cisse coming back up front with Ba, I can see them winning.
Southampton have a horrible defence.
Hey,
Really horrible.
Yeah, they've come up to the Premier League straight from League One in the last 2 years, so they maybe needed a little bit more time in the Championship. So I think some of those defenders are too weak for the Premier League at the moment.
Is it fair to put that guy Ramirez in list of say 5 or 10 of the biggest flop signs?
Flop's a bit harsh.
Flop
He
sign.
barely played
He's a flop
because of
sign.
injuries.
Yeah, but flop signing.
Well, who else is in the list?
They didn't buy him to think, oh, well, it's okay if he gets injured. They bought him to make a big.
Well, that's not his fault.
Who else is in the list is exactly the question. Is he the top of the list?
This is a Facebook question. If you're on the Facebook page, leave it in the comments of this. Give us a few examples.
That I can think of right
Yeah.
now.
Berbatov's.
Berbatov's working out well.
Top scorer.
Top scorer a few
Pabravniak
times.
could be one. I don't think he's lived up to the billing at all.
Oh, he scored a good few goals.
I think he was much.
He was better at Fulham,
Better
but he
at
was
Fulham, yeah.
playing in a better team at Fulham.
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll yet to score.
Yeah.
Fernando Torres.
Yeah. Oh, well, if we're putting him into Torres bracket
No,
so
we're,
far,
we're talking about during the summer going
this-
into the season.
Well, you can't say Carroll's a flop from this summer. He's played well without scoring.
Without scoring, he's a centre forward though.
Potentially spending 17 million on him as well, Newcastle. West Ham if they stay up. That's part of the deal. 17 million for a striker who doesn't score.
But they win by several goals. And he plays, except this week and the week before. But
Why
before
are
that,
you elongating your words?
I don't. Cause I'm trying to think.
They
of
win,
flops.
but he plays.
Who else flopped?
I
Who
think-
did
I think
United
it's
buy?
Good summer for
Remember.
signings, it seems.
Who did United buy?
Van Persie.
Kagawa.
Can't really say they flopped.
No. Gail's been injured. They didn't buy him to be injured. No.
Well, he did well before he was injured. Unlike Ramirez.
QPR
Ramirez is
signed
only
some-
there for the money as well.
Yeah, well, the entire QPR team
flop.
works.
We've got a bit off topic here.
Barini,
Yeah.
Asaidi.
Asaidi hasn't really given that
They
much.
didn't buy him to the bench.
Is
He hasn't been
Barini a flop?
Not yet. I mean, he is.
Sahin is being
Liverpool.
replaced by a 19-year-old and a left back.
Sahin needs time to settle in England. The thing about Asaidi is he.
Well, why doesn't Gatson Ramirez get time to settle?
Because he's a flop. How are you not getting this?
Thing about Barini is he's got a broken foot or wherever he has at the moment.
Well, before that.
Before that, he scored 1 goal in the Europa League. So yeah, you could probably put him in that bracket.
But he's being played as a left winger. Scott Sinclair.
Rodwell.
Sinclair.
Rodwell and Sinclair. But
Rodwell's giving away goals. Sinclair.
yeah,
Scott Sinclair wishes he could have the opportunity to give away goals.
yeah, that was a bit of a nothing move for him.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
moving on.
I'm
Let's
sure it
move
was
on.
a
as
great move for his bank.
Oh, Tottenham, Adebayor.
Yeah,
Scored.
Tottenham at home to West Ham. New school European tactics versus old school English. I always love this when this happens. Who will come out on top?
Tottenham, I think.
Tottenham?
Yeah, although Carroll's going to cause big problems for Spurs, I think.
What's the name? Corker's a very good centre half, though. I think he could.
Yeah. I'd expect Tottenham to win to bounce back. It depends what the confidence is like really after tonight's match on the weekend, but they'll be looking to hit back there quick enough because they need to they're down in 8th, I think. So they need to kind of start pushing
Dembele
back.
should be back for this game as well, which is very important.
Yeah, I think they're missing him.
And the final game of the weekend, 4 p.m. again on Sunday, Chelsea versus Man City. Now, no Chelsea fans really want Benitez, but what is he actually? That's kind of old scraps that they have. What's he going to do differently with the team?
Make them a bit more defensive.
Do you reckon?
More organised at the back. So you might see the end of Luiz.
Oh, I love Louis.
he could see him moving into midfield, which has been suggested by some Chelsea fans, moving into a whole midfielder role, which not really him either. But yeah, I can see them being more defensive.
I think the idea is Ivanovic and Cahill centre halves.
Yeah.
And the Spanish lad,
Aspilicueta.
Yeah, at right back.
Apparently, this is why Di Matteo got sacked, though, is not because he lost all those games, but because he played a right back on the right wing against Juventus and played no centre forward.
Yeah, the nerves to drop Fernando Torres.
No, but this is apparently they're supposed to be a big European club according to Abramovich, and they weren't living up to that by playing
false nine.
If you believe all the stories, you hear that Di Matteo was sacked long before this week.
Yeah.
And there's theories about they contacted Guardiola, or they contacted Benitez fairly quickly after the whole Plattenberg incident, and they were working towards this.
Oh, really?
Well, there's stories that they've been onto Guardiola constantly. If you hear
fact,
onto him again this week, saying will he take over? He's saying no.
Of course, he's saying no.
But the thing about it is, a lot of people seem to believe that Benitez is there as an interim manager, and in the summer, Guardiola is
going to Chelsea.
But I don't be surprised exactly if he doesn't. Why on earth would you want to go there? Especially with his Barcelona connections, not only at Manchester City. The guy I'm talking about, the
Cheeky
yeah. But he not only is he at Manchester City, he also turned down Chelsea. So he would be quite close. So on both things, you could see him turning down Chelsea and going to City, perhaps. But these are two clubs actually, Chelsea and Man City, that getting quite sick of stories about them. All these constant managerial stories about both of them, and stories
I was just about to bring that up.
you know what I mean. With constant stories about Balotelli. They're just kind of boring clubs. The same old stuff happens with.
Fights with the managers.
Two kind of classless clubs as well. Too. The whole Clattenburg thing, obviously.
Well,
that got sorted today.
Mark's bored with it, so I'm going to talk to you about it.
I'm not bored. I'm passionately bored about
it. Pep has also been linked with Man City. Is Mancini in danger? They went out of the Champions League.
Went out of the Champions League, so I don't think they're going to sack him midway through the season. But they really have to win the league now this season. And I don't know if they'll get Europa League. I don't think they want to get Europa League. They might let Ajax have that. I'd say Dortmund will beat them anyway.
Yeah, Dortmund will want to
win the group outright, so they'll be going for that. But yeah, Mancini has to win the league now. That's his priority.
Do Dortmund not already have the league?
No, it's 11 and 8.
But they have
they're
head-to-heads.
Ooh, yeah.
So they would have that, but
Dortmund are finishing top, and then it's Real.
Mancini would be a fairly ludicrous sacking, though, would he not be? FA Cup, wins the league. If he doesn't win anything, so what? I think they should be going full plays for the Europa League if they get into it, because it's not a bad trophy to win.
Well, they might not sack him now, but like we said, they'll be looking for Pep in the summer.
I know, but I don't think they should sack him in the summer, even without winning a trophy, because not everyone can win the trophy. You know what I mean? So you can't just keep sacking. As long as you think you're moving forward, if they don't feel they're moving forward or they don't have a grand plan, then you can sack him. But for not winning a trophy, it's stupid.
Yeah, I personally don't think they should sack him. But the mentality of the owners is, if they don't win anything, we're spending.
They've invested all that
so much money,
and he's being outwitted by every manager he's come up against in Europe. So they have to be thinking, look, we're spending all this money, we want to be the best, so let's get the best manager.
Yeah, but you have to understand that just because you're spending all this, that doesn't make Chelsea, Arsenal and Man United suddenly an inferior club to you just because you're throwing your weight around. they've overpaid on players. Like, they haven't bought in Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, the players that are at the greatest clubs. They've just overpaid on players. Like, so that's your own fault. Like, you know what I mean? Man United are still a good team. Liverpool are still a big club. You can't just surpass these by throwing like inflated prices on wages.
Yeah, but if you bring in a manager who's going to play, one left-sided player against Ronaldo and Marcelo, and he got hammered earlier in the season, and then he goes, "I'll do that again," and then it happens again. Well, they didn't get hammered during the week, but Benzema crept in behind and got the goal because there was space to be exploited in the same position that it was exploited in the last match.
Yeah, well, no manager's perfect. I just hate the idea of Di Matteo getting sacked after winning the double. Same as Ancelotti was sacked. He won a double trophy this season, out the door. That's just stupid stuff, really. When you think about it, how do you expect your club to, like? How long do you think Guardiola is going to go into Manchester City for?
I don't think he would.
Even if he did, he managed it was 4 seasons at Barcelona, and it nearly killed him. If you believe what you hear, he had hair when he started. He lost.
He didn't have that much hair when he started. He was pretty bald when he
started
playing.
Look back at it. He had a good bit of hair when he first started, and it completely bald and lost a lot of weight by the end of it. So he's not going to be Ferguson going into Manchester City. So, like, why? I don't understand why you're just throwing away managers. But then again, I'm not in football. So
as we say, it's been working for the two of them. Well, Hughes got sacked, and then Mancini did well. I think Mancini's. I can't see it going forward. I don't think he'd be there this time next year. Is what I'm saying.
No, I just don't think Guardiola exactly signals long-term success at Manchester City.
No, I can see Pep going to Bayern anyway. So
I can see him buying his time and going back to Barcelona in a few years.
I think he wants to manage somewhere else, and he has expressed an interest in England too. But unless the Manchester United job is up, I don't think he's going. Or maybe Liverpool.
Danny Alves says actually at Barcelona that the players blame themselves for Pep leaving, that they kind of just stopped listening to him in the last season because they believed that they were so good as you would, and Pep's voice kind of was getting a bit drowned out, and so he was kind of like, well, Pep was like, my influence is waning here. It's probably time to go. And that was Danny Alves anyway. So,
well, speaking of time to go, I think we'll wrap it there. And if you like, we'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on our Facebook page.
We need this.
Yeah,
we really do.
I haven't eaten since Monday.
He doesn't even get paid, so I don't know. But if you watch it, at least you'll be able to, dine on glory. From Mark, Owen Grace, and myself, I'm John O'Donnell, and Mark Horgren. That was very sloppy. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Disagreed with everything that
No,
said.
nope. And can you
With
understand
the
the
league.
fans' vitriol? Well, yeah, but the wrong.
Now he's out of the L job there. Yeah. He's out of the L job.
Now he is. And who got the job?
Henning Berg,
Berg.
who said in, I think it was June, no man in their right mind would take
work
that.
for Venky's?
Yeah.
He was a
Talks.
big liar.
Money talk.
Chickens talk. In the case of Venky's.
In the case of Chicken Little.
John, that is racist.
We're all a bunch of cocks. Right. Let's go. Microphones at the ready, Mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm revving my microphone.
Ladies getting closer to speakers now.